Good morning. I hope you are doing well and that your family is doing well, that you're feeling inspired, that you're feeling optimistic, and that most importantly, you're healthy. This Shabbos, we're going to read a double Torah portion, and it's got many, many lessons. I just want to share one that I came across, which I think is fascinating. In this portion, we're told, Loi Sikoim, that a person should not take revenge against somebody else. Now, there's a book called the Sefer HaChinuch, and essentially what he does is he goes through every Torah portion of the year, and he identifies what mitzvahs are taught for the first time in that portion, and it gives us the basic parameters of the mitzvah, who it applies to, when it applies, and what's the intention, what's the goal behind that mitzvah. When it comes to revenge, he says something which is very profound and very relevant at the moment. Why would a person take revenge against somebody who had wronged them? Well, quite simply, because you think they did something wrong, they deserve to be punished. So I'm going to retaliate. I'm going to do something because they wronged me. What the Torah wants us to know is nobody wrongs us. Obviously, people are responsible for their choices and their decisions, and Hashem will always hold people accountable for those choices. But the fact that I was the victim of their choice, that is not in their hands. That is because Hashem, for whatever reason it is, has decided that I needed to go through that particular experience. So if I feel I have to take revenge against the individual, I'm effectively rejecting the fact that Hashem has chosen this particular experience to happen to me. And so rather than learn from it or grow from it, I'm just venting and directing my anger at an individual. And that's what the Torah doesn't agree with. It's a little similar to the story of King David. We're told that King David, who obviously was one of the most respected people in the whole of Jewish history, and on one occasion there was a fellow who publicly degraded him and cursed him in front of a crowd. And afterwards, the Torah uses the expression, it says, God told that person to curse David. Now, obviously he didn't tell him. It was his free choice. And he was punished for it because it was terrible disrespect to the king. But effectively what the Torah is telling us is the fact that David was the victim, that was Hashem's intention. Along similar lines, the Chofetz Chaim, one of the most famous contemporary scholars, says that if a person takes revenge against somebody, so basically what they're saying is this, he uses an interesting metaphor. He says, could you imagine if you walked into a room and you said, I'm looking for John. Excuse me, are you John? He says, no, I'm not John. Why are you not John? You get all upset at them, you vent at them, you attack them because they're not John. Oh, because I'm not John. So he says, by the same token, if you go to somebody and say, can you help me? And they don't help you, rather than taking it personally and saying that person is a rogue, again, they are responsible for their choices. But if they haven't helped you, that means that in heaven, Hashem has not assigned them to be the one to help you. Somebody else will be the one to help you. And the reason I think this is so relevant is because right now people might cast blame on the government, or you might cast blame on those people who are agitating, depending on which side of the argument you sit, agitating for lockdown, agitating against lockdown, the economic restrictions, the fact that we can't go to school. It's easy to start to blame this one, the school board, the educational department, the health department, the government in general, the Chinese, whoever it is that you want to blame. Actually, what the Torah is teaching us over here is 100% people who make poor decisions are accountable for their decisions, but they're accountable to Hashem, and to an extent they are accountable to us. But for us to demand that accountability is a misdirection of our energies. It would be much healthier for us to say, why am I in this situation? Hashem has placed me in this situation in order to create an opportunity for me to grow and to develop and to become a better and deeper person. How do I find that? To be a very useful exercise and quite a healthy exercise. Let's see what it can do for us. Have a good Shabbos, stay safe and stay sane.